Hello, everybody. Winter has returned to where I am. We got another winter storm last night and into today even. It started yesterday and continuing in today. Before that, we didn't really have any snow, but we got lots now. It's definitely the heavy stuff, and winter is definitely not done with us, that's for sure. Where I am, I've heard a lot of the U.S. has gotten hit by really bad weather. Some cities like California getting blizzard-like conditions when they're not really accustomed to winter-like conditions, like blizzard conditions. Yikes. Well, I hope they're all doing well. Well, I'm making this video because the breaking news yesterday, I saw it. I actually did see posts about it as soon as I got up in the morning before I went to work. I read about it and was aware of it, and that was that Toni Morris is no longer serving as a governing body member. Wow. Tight pants Tony? Man, that instantly comes to my head when I think of him. Like him and his name. And the one government body member that is just bitter and so much hatred towards ex-witnesses and those who have left. Like, wow, I wonder, was he ever a favorite among the witnesses? I could see there being the odd kind of witness that might actually like the way he talks, like thinks the same way about ex-members and that maybe. But I think I've heard he was like maybe one of the most disliked governing body members overall. But anyway, so the big question now is, why is he no longer? And the answer right now is we don't really have a direct answer right away. I mean, I've been watching a few channels and checking out a few posts about it. It's so far good points that have been brought out is he is on the JW's websites. The website it says our brother Toni Morris. So the fact that they're still calling him our brother, that doesn't really seem to mean that he's still a witness. He's just no longer a governing body member. But why? Did the other governing body members finally notice or take issue of what he said in some of the broadcasting videos? You know? Like wanting apostates to just die and vanish by smoke, like smoke and be eaten up by maggots or something, or I don't know. Man. Or maybe it has to do with his Bottlegate scandal, who knows? I don't know. You know, I believe it was 3 years ago that he was filmed buying booze at an alcohol store in the States. And I believe it was on a Sunday too. And drove quite a little bit of a distance out of his way to do it too. I think he was obviously, does really seem like he was trying to be not noticed by or, who knows. Or maybe it was, I've seen other videos of him in broadcasting videos, talking to JW audiences, and he was talking about that where he was, they weren't the witnesses weren't being super stern and disciplined and strict about not associating with those who were disfellowshipped. and he was kind of just, criticizing and scolding them. You got to be strict. If they're not active JWs, you should not be associating with them, period. And how that one thing that they claim, that when you keep associating with them when they're disfellowshipped, especially family members, you having interactions with them is just kind of is not going to encourage them to come back or something. It's just super messed up. That's what it is. But there was also an interesting point of why Anthony Morris is no longer a governing body member. Might it have something to do with what's going on in Pennsylvania? I haven't made a video about it, but I've heard about it. There's the pedophile and child abuse cases going on in Pennsylvania, and a lawyer's trying to put forth action so that they can't they can be held accountable, that they're not allowed to delete the files anymore, or wow, is that? Yeah, it is. There you go, guys. Do you see that? It doesn't really bother me all that much. That's a gray hair. Like a solid gray hair. There's proof that, yeah, my hair, I'm getting up to that age. Sorry. I am serious about what I'm saying. I'm just sorry. I saw it. It kind of caught my attention there. It's like I've known... some of my sideburns, and I got a little patch here that is almost like a solid, like a good patch of gray going. But yeah, Tony Morris. Trying to think of, is it Stephen Lett? The two that have always stood out to me is Tony Morris for the disgusting way he talks, very hateful, not becoming of a loving Christian, if you could even call him that. And Stephen Lett, man, those facial expressions, oh my god. What does he think he's he thinks he's talking to? He talks like he's trying to talk to a bunch of retarded little kids or something. Those, who knows, maybe he himself is. No, I don't really mean that. No, just kidding. But no, just, and he's I think it's him too. I've seen look up Heaven's Gate. The leader of that group made similar facial expressions. It's another. I'm continuing to reflect. It's 4.5 years since I've left the cult. I have no intentions of ever going back. I just need to keep learning what the Bible's really all about, what true Christian love is really all about. Because I often say to myself, when it comes to my JW relations previously, I would love to return to get some of the friendships back, but that's it. That's not enough reason to go back. There's nothing to go back to. They do not teach the truth. They do not have love. Among themselves, and I'm sure which could ultimately be added that the friends that a small, minute part of me would desire to get back, you couldn't really even call them real friends. So, yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about in this video. Tony Morris, man. And another part, is that why they've maybe recently brought in these 2 new governing body members? Because they knew they were planning to get rid of or they knew it was coming up that they might have to delete one of the... Well, all we know for sure now is that I don't think Anthony Morris is dead. He is likely still alive. It's just why is like, don't they always kind of do that? They just like, they want to be secretive. I think that's going to be more of a disadvantage for Watchtower. That's gonna come back to bite them in the future. In a lot of ways, it already is. They just like to be secretive when it comes to certain stuff, and it really is harming them and causing their downfall. Like, even like another theory that I've heard and read about, like Anthony Morris no longer a governing body member, would it, like, if this is like a big if it is connected to what's going on in Pennsylvania, and who knows, maybe Anthony Morris was involved in some of those cases. Maybe he is a pedophile or, molested children, maybe. And that's why they kicked him off. Or and let's say news about this started spreading around, like, oh, Anthony Morris is a pedophile, and all the XJWs spread it, and it gets out to, like, everybody, like non-Jehovah's Witnesses. Will the society just address this as, like, like it's, oh, well, we told you might hear crazy stuff that, like what they've been saying in their Watchtower since 2013, we might give you instruction that you might not understand or make sense at first, but you have to believe it, or, like, just feel like God. It's like, man, put up walls around your brain, put up your force field that just blocks out what real truth is. No matter how much they say Anthony Morris is a pedophile, he's not. Like, wow. I'm just, man, it is the one thing I've learned since leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses, which I should try to keep in mind more often, to be honest, is that Watchtower is a lot more evil, corrupt, and lying than I ever thought they were. They really are. They're just, just even where I live, and I'm sure other parts of the world too, just, they're shrinking, but they'll just delete they'll just, like, get rid of a congregation, combine 2 or 3 into one big one, and then claim its growth. In my area, I know that's been happening. Oh man, I probably haven't told you guys this one before, but my current job, okay, a few years back, I wasn't, when I first started there, I wasn't getting as many hours as I do now. But I had been there a couple of years. There was potential for me to increase my hours, but I'm not going to get into the exact reason, but I wasn't able to, and it actually happened that, so I ended up leaving Jehovah's Witnesses at the end of 2018. In 2019, about midway through the year, the opportunity came up for me to increase my hours there, which would have, but here's the thing, the hours would go into the evening hours, and it would be a few days a week. Like this job, it's a type of job where I've always worked the same days. My days each week that I work are always the same. And it was, so it would mean that I would no longer be able to attend a Thursday night meeting. But of course, I took it right away, more hours, because, man, I think at the time I had reasoned, well, you know what, I could switch and just go to another congregation's Tuesday night meeting so I could take this job opportunity. And I'm like, so I took it, I got more hours. It's been like that for the past few years. And I'm like, man, what would I have decided if I was still a witness? Pass up this opportunity because I need to attend my own congregation's, midweek meetings. And I was trying to remember last night before I make this video. I think my decision at that time would have been what I just said. I would have continued. I would have accepted the job, more hours, and just switched to a Tuesday night meeting. Because, you gotta be sensible, man. You're gonna pass up that much extra money just to continue going to midweek meetings. And I will say it, I knew other witnesses that kind of broke the rules. I mean, I think we all used to know ones that would, and I did. Oh, I knew quite a few families, especially when it came to families. Actually, they would never go to one of our assigned assemblies or conventions, like the one that our congregation was supposed to go to. They would always go to another one. Or there was some that I kind of figured it out myself before somebody else said it, that I knew they must have taken it, how much they were missing a lot of meetings. They must have taken a job. I knew of one guy that in my congregation I was in, he studied, became a witness, and then within not even 6 months he was inactive. Never at meetings, not even the memorial or very seldom. I didn't know what was going on because I didn't really know him personally. I just noticed his absence. Not that I was watching out for all the bad ones, it's just a continual absence of a newly baptized person. And it ended up being that he was, he had been working night shifts. The job he was on, he was working night shifts. I knew of a lot who even broke those rules of, make sure whoever you date is a pioneer or a ministerial servant or elder. Make sure they're really spiritually active. Yeah, right. Seemed like all the ones getting married were, they didn't really give a shit about how they were doing spiritually. I think, oh man, sorry, I can't. I'm kind of stuck on that one. I really solidly believe that JW brothers, and probably the sisters a little bit too, I think they're seem to be much more affixed about, if I'm gonna get married, they better be hot. No, I don't know. Sorry, guys, I don't know. Maybe it's just me because I have always been, a little heavier, more of an average-looking person. And if you're listening carefully, I did not say ugly. Because I love to point that out. I did not say I think I'm ugly. I said I think I'm average-looking. And what I mean by that is, I consider myself, I don't think I'm super ugly, I don't think I'm super beautiful. I think I'm just what would often be called pretty. I don't know. which I'm weird. Call me kind of weird. I don't know. I think that's just, to me, that word has always kind of been just meh. Yeah. No, I really did notice that if the sisters looked more like me, they tended to stay single. I mean, unless it was a case they got that way after they were married. Well, that was different, so. But then again, you know, I had my preferences too. I would definitely not have. I know of a few couples when I was a witness that basically had taken that attitude of, made the decision, made the decision that I don't like, we don't want to have kids in this system, we're just going to wait till the new system. Like, no, I would ultimately, no. I mean, not saying I would have wanted 1 million kids, but at least 1 or 2. I don't even know if I'd want 3, just like 1 or 2. Yeah, I knew of a few. But then, you know, I've also knew of a few that wanted, I knew of at least one couple that wanted to be missionaries and then they got pregnant. So much for that. Yeah, it's, so just wanted to, just wanted to make this video. I had to make the mention of, I had to share the news of Toni Morris, give my thoughts on it. My thoughts, to sum it up, are just, I'd be curious to know if we ever find out what the real reason is that he's been kind of kicked out. I wonder. So I have a feeling it's gonna be, kind of hate to use the word, but I kind of think it's fitting. It's juicy. I think it's going to be a nice juicy reason. So, thank you guys for watching my video. Big thanks to those who have watched it till the end. Please subscribe and like my videos, and leave comments if you like. I welcome it all. If you like my video, I hope you do. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Bye.